Here's David Thorn. David Thorn, not Jimmy Gulabon, but David Thorn from Minnesota is had some good matches with Ramos in the past. We'll be taking a look at David Thorn, the redshirt senior, up against Tony Ramos, also a senior. Thorn out of St. Michael, Minnesota.
That's probably the latest arrival we've ever seen out of Tony Ramos. He probably wasn't sure that back in there warming up, not expecting a fall. He's usually the first guy out there in the mat, and Thorn was able to beat him out there in the mat. Boy, Ramos right in a shot here. Good finish opportunity here. Has the leg way up in the air. Thorn showing a lot of flexibility and balance. And what you want to try to do if you're Ramos here is get to the center of the mat. Does a nice job there.
2 points. Ramos trying to get the Hawkeyes back in a position to take the, well, they're not going to take the lead after this match because Minnesota's Sam Brenkale, the 125-pounder, came out and got a big fall over Thomas Gilman in the first period for the Gophers to put the Gophers out front 6-0 in the meet. The takedown and then escape makes the score 2-1.
Yeah, Thorn is moving up from 125 pounds, where he was a really big 125-pounder last season, All-American. Of course, Ramos has been in the weight class here for a number of years and held the #1 ranking for a period of time. And everybody knows that if you've watched any amount of wrestling here, that 33-pound weight class is wide open. Ramos will probably have something to say with it. Comes NCAA tournament time. Thorn ranked a little bit lower. See that 9 ranking, but he's also a very dangerous wrestler. Got a lot of offense. And I think that the key for him is to be able to slow Ramos down a little bit, and maybe be a little bit more patient with his offense. And then for Ramos, I mean, it's just a shocker. He's out here 6 minutes earlier than what he thought he'd be.
Ramos out front 2-1. The Gophers out front 6-0. Here's the intermat rankings at 133. Didn't even have time to put him up for 125. You see Tony Ramos, the #3 ranked wrestler in this weight class. David Thorn, an All-American last year.
1 minute.
Ramos, a 2-time All-American for the Hawkeyes.
Here you see Ramos getting his head worked on a little bit. Low ankle shot off that collar tie by Thorn. And I think this is where that Hawkeye coaching staff, Tom Brands, would like to see a little more hand fighting here, maybe try to get the advantage a little bit more for Ramos. And he's generally been able to do that throughout his career, be the first to work the head, make the other man work a little harder, and those shots tend to open up later in the match.
Thorn and Ramos having good years, both wrestling very well. Ramos never having lost here in Carver Hawkeye. Defending the turf.
Open up, guys, open up. Let's go, let's go.
You can see both guys have kind of settled in right now with these collar ties.
And we do get through a first period now at 133, and Ramos out front 2-1 over Thorn, 2 highly ranked wrestlers. And Tony Ramos is our State Farm state of success. You see he's undefeated at Carver Hawkeye, 32-0 all-time right here, 8-0 record this season in this house.
20 seconds of riding time build up after the takedown here by Ramos. Now we're up to 27. And I think Ramos, I mean, this is what you have to kind of do and stay in your advantage, really make the top guy work. And so if in order for Thorn, who's not a candidate for a major, but you never know, but you got to work a guy until you find that out. But this is one of the ways you do this. Either the body blows in the sport, really make a guy work hard, and if he gets out quickly, it's just a different mindset that you have as opposed to battling and battling and battling to get your hips out and get that quick escape.
I need action, guys, action.
And there's the escape.
1:02 of riding time, so Thorn will only have to ride Ramos in the third period a couple seconds if there's no takedown here in this time. But still plenty of time for both athletes to get on their offense. I mean, this is sometimes, wasted territory in a match where if you're not careful, you're not on the offensive, not looking for your shots, not trying to score points, it can catch up with you late in the match.
2-2, the strength of an early takedown. Tony Ramos in the first period An escape by Thorn in the first period, and now an escape in the second period by Thorn. He started the second period down.
You know, it's Ramos does like to shoot to that leg right there that has the knee pad on it, but he's really become proficient in shooting to that back leg, and that's what's really kind of slowing him down right now. You can see how Thorn has kept that left leg back, and it's just a natural thing for him. He feels more comfortable in that, and that's why you don't see all the shots off of Ramos, because he's much more comfortable when the guy leads the other leg. Now he's working the head real hard. I mean, this is just extending the vertebrae in a guy's neck, but if you make a guy work on that upper shoulder and neck area here real hard, you know, it pays off later in the match.
Into the second period, and talking about that working the head, that's something this young man has done well all his career. Working the head, heavy hands, going behind.
Yeah, and that gets a lot of his points on go-behinds, but also off the shots after he's worked the head pretty solidly. And really, it was a treat doing that what makes him great segment here on Tony Ramos last week, because it really kind of spelled out what he does well.
We'll be taking a look at the Jim's What Makes Them Great segment later in the intermission, and we're going to take a look at that two-time NCAA champion, Tony Nelson. Great segments on BTN. What makes them great? With the expertise, my broadcast partner, Jim Gibbons. 3-2, Ramos with that escape. A minute and a half left in the third period, and it comes down to execution.
Yeah, it really does. And there's a nice single leg attempt there. He was able to get to that back leg. Good job of scrambling by Thorn. Now he's on the other side. Ramos is pretty proficient. You see how he's elbow deep right there? He's elbow deep on that shot. It's going to be very difficult for Thorn to stay out of this. Now he brings it up underneath his shoulder. But the thing I don't like about this technique is if the guy's got the flexibility that Thorn has, you don't really gain anything by that. You got to, it creates hip separation. Those hips are about 3. That's why that sweep didn't work. Too much separation. You got to pop your hips in, almost like you're doing a clean, and then hit something. Comes to the collar, but bring your hips closer to his hips. See how this hip separation is there? Thorn can stay on his feet. It's almost as, rarely would see this called, but it's almost a stalemate if he doesn't get going.
Because advantage Ramos right here if he doesn't get going. There's the 2 points, takedown at the edge of the mat for Ramos. The score now 5-2 with 30 seconds left in the third period.
Just excellent patience, you know, in carrying your weight like that on one leg. It's more taxing than what you think. And
the riding time in favor of Ramos. He's got the riding time that really cannot be erased.
And here's where you want to build for your tournament wrestling. You want to keep the man in the down position if you're Ramos, and nice jam. Even if you give up a reversal, you have riding time already cinched. Stay in the top position, finish your periods in the top position. Good match by Ramos.
Workmanlike. Ramos, the number 3 ranked 133-pounder. Looking for a championship, looking in good form. Tony Ramos, the winner. 3 points for the Hawkeyes.